Hey trainers, so just like Ash Ketchum, you're ready to jump into the wonderful world of Pokemon. But just like Ash, you need some more information about the Pokemon before you get started. Never fear, today we're rewinding all the way to 1999 to the set that launched a global phenomenon, the Pokémon Base Set. The 1999 English Base Set was actually based on Japan's 1996 Pokemon card game expansion pack, often simply called Pokemon Card Game. This original Japanese set was released by Media Factory and contained the very first Pokemon cards featuring many of the iconic cards we know, like Charizard, Blastoise, and Venusaur. The English base set from Wizards of the Coast adapted most of the original Japanese cards. For example, besides being a different language, the back of the cards are totally different. One is called Pocket Monster Card Game and has the date 1996 at the bottom next to the Nintendo Inc., along with 1996 Game Freak and 1996 Creatures Inc., all rights reserved. Now, even though the English version has a simpler design overall, it has proved its worth over the years. It has been extremely difficult for forgers to duplicate this design and colors. The forgeries are usually always a few shades off with the blue, and the borders and the cut of the edges are rarely in the same width. We'll jump into this into another video. For today, let's explore the iconic artwork, the artists behind the scenes, the skyrocketing card values, and why this set still holds special place in the hearts of over 2 decades later. So grab your Pokeballs and your Pokédex, because we're diving deep into Pokemon TCG history. The Pokemon Base Set's where it all began. Released in 1999, this set of 102 cards introduced many of us to a new world of battling, trading, and collecting. But the base set wasn't just about collecting. It set the stage for Pokemon to become a worldwide cultural phenomenon. The original set was first developed in Japan by Media Factory and later adapted by Wizards of the Coast for English-speaking audiences. At that time, it was hard to predict that a handful of small, colorful cards would become a massive part of childhood memories for millions and a long-lasting hobby for collectors. This set introduced not only the first Pokemon cards, but also concepts of rarity, the thrill of pulling a holographic card, and the excitement of showing off Charizard, Blastoise, and Venusaur to your friends. For many, the Pokemon Base Set wasn't just a game, it was the beginning of a lifelong passion. One of the defining features of the base set is the artwork. Each card felt like a window into the Pokemon world, thanks to a few legendary artists who laid the foundation for what Pokemon art could be. First we have Ken Sugimori. Sugimori's art is already known by fans of the video games, as he designed many of the original Pokemon. His style is clean and classic, with many cards displaying a simplicity that makes the Pokemon feel like they're ready to jump right out of the card. Sugimori's work laid the foundation for the Pokemon we know and love today. Up next, Mutsuhiro Arita, the artist who gave us one of the most famous cards of all time, the holographic Charizard. Arita's art style is bold, also cinematic. His Charizard card, with its dramatic pose and intense expression, has become an icon in pop culture. Arita captured the fierce, adventurous spirit of Charizard, and it's this card that has become a centerpiece in countless collections. Then there's Keiji Kambuki, also known for his vivid, dynamic style. He brought beloved Pokemon like Pikachu and Pidgeotto to life in a way that felt playful and colorful. Each artist brought a unique vision, making the set feel like a collection of mini masterpieces. And let's be honest, these artworks are still some of the most recognizable images in TCG history. When the TCG was first released, Kambuki was one of the few 3D artists making his art for the first few expansions instantly recognizable. Due to limitations of 3D software at the time, many of the Pokemon he created images for were composed or very simple shapes, consisting of base textures and lighting effects. He was known for creating the art for the majority of the early trainer cards, and as the TCG continued, he worked on trainer cards art almost exclusively. He had invited Arita to join the project. Kambuki's last illustrations were featured in the Aquapolis expansion, during which time other 3D illustrators were beginning to contribute to more sophisticated images. He was credited as the illustrator for all base basic energy cards, as well as a few special energy cards until the Expedition Base Set, where there was a major change in the card layout. Arita designed the energy symbols on the cards, whereas Kaimbuki designed the energy card layouts. Kaimbuki is also credited as an illustrator for some of the trainer cards in the Pokemon trading figure game. However, all of the images are taken from work he had previously done for the TCG. In total, Kaimbuki illustrated 106 cards, not all in base set. Now, let's talk about rarities and values. The base set cards came in 3 levels of rarity, marked by symbols: a circle for commons, a diamond for uncommons, and a star for rare cards. But there's more to it than just that, especially when we talk about holographic cards. Among the base set holographics, Charizard reigns supreme. Collectors and fans alike go wild for this card. In pristine condition, a first edition shadowless holographic Charizard can reach mind-blowing prices, sometimes even topping 6 figures. But what makes this card so valuable? It's a mix of nostalgia, demand, and of course the iconic artwork Arita that captured Charizard in all of its glory. But Charizard isn't alone. Blastoise, Venusaur, and Mewtwo are also highly prized. These cards, especially in shadowless and first edition forms, are incredibly valuable. Also, in the English 1999 base set, Red Cheeks Pikachu was actually printed first. The red cheeks were intended to match Pikachu's classic look, but after the initial print run, the card was altered to show yellow cheeks instead. This makes Red Cheeks Pikachu the original, a rarer version from the earliest print runs, especially notable in the first edition and shadowless cards. To sum it up, Red Cheeks appeared first in the initial print runs. Yellow Cheeks came after, and as a correction, making Red Cheeks more scarce and valuable among collectors. Say that 3 times fast. A quick note for newer collectors. Shadowless cards lack the shadowed border we see on the latter printings, making them rarer and more sought after. And of course, first edition cards marked by that icon stamp are the rarest versions of all. Condition matters too, of course. Cards graded by PSA or Beckett are the standard for all other grading companies to strive for, to be alike. Some of the grading companies besides PSA and Beckett are BGS and CGC, which have bases here in the US. My personal favorite, unfortunately, is not based in the US currently, and only based in the UK. And that's Ace Grading, because of their aesthetically pleasing look and rigorous grading technology. So that being said, you can see values soar based on how well their conditions have held up over the years. So if you have a base set card in mint condition, especially a first edition holographic, you're holding onto a piece of TGC history that's worth quite a bit today. Now, let's zoom out a little bit and take a look at cultural impact of the base set. These cards weren't just collectibles, they became a massive part of 90s culture. Schoolyards, trading sessions, and binders full of cards. This was a universal experience for Pokemon fans. Kids around the world were connecting over these cards, and the base set was the cornerstone of this movement. For many, these cards sparkled their first experiences with trading, bargaining, and even learning the basics of value. The base set gave us something tangible to rally around, something that fueled our imaginations and gave us a sense of community. From the first holo we pulled to the last trade of the day, these cards became more than just pieces of cardboard. They became memories, and today the legacy lives on. The influence of the base set is undeniable. With its themes, designs, and even certain mechanics referenced in modern sets, Pokemon releases today still carry that sense of excitement. But it all started with these original 102 cards. Now let's all hold our horses and listen to Professor Oak. If you're thinking about diving into base set collecting, I've got a couple of tips for you. First, focus on condition. Cards that are graded especially in high grades like PSA 9 or PSA 10 hold their value best. It's getting harder and harder to find these cards in raw condition. If you're looking for something iconic and investment worthy, aim for first edition and shadowless cards. Watch out for counterfeits. These cards are valuable, and that unfortunately makes them the target of forgeries. A great way to verify authenticity by checking reputable graded companies or buying them from a trusted source. Don't let Team Rocket prepare for trouble and make it double. Watch and find out about market trends as well. Pokemon cards have surged in value over the last few years, especially as nostalgia has kicked in full force. Collectors, influencers, and longtime fans are all hunting down these base set cards, pushing the demand up even higher. And there you have it, trainers, the Pokemon base set. From iconic artwork to legends like Sugimori and Narita, to the nostalgic memories that have made these cards is timeless and the incredible values they've reached today. Whether you're a new collector or a longtime fan, there's no denying the magic of this set. If you're enjoying this deep dive into Pokemon history, make sure to like this video, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for me so you won't miss out on our next adventure. And here's a question for all of you. What's your favorite base set card? Drop it in the comments below. I'd love to hear about it. Thanks for joining me on this journey through TCG history. Until next time, trainers, catch you in the next one.